Leftist, progressive, socialist, Twitch streamer and political commentator Hasan Piker has purchased himself a nearly $3 million home in West Hollywood. And boy, are leftists angry. You know, when I heard that a socialist made all this money, is super rich, and was going to buy themselves this massive mansion, you know, I thought to myself, oh, congratulations, Hasan. Wow, that's really impressive. The guy works really, really hard and he deserves it. Hasan streams for like 8 or 10 hours every day, and that's no simple feat. You know, I work around 12 to 16 hours every day. The first video that I publish goes up around 10 a.m., but I begin the research and work around 8 a.m., and then we finish and wrap up the final show around 11 p.m., so I certainly understand what it is to work and talk nonstop and do this stuff all day, every day. And so, you know, congratulations to Hasan for grinding. And proving, you know, with hard work, determination, talent, and all that stuff, you can be successful. And I'm going to say it outright, not facetious at all. You are allowed to be a leftist and successful. This idea that you want to promote universal health care or that you want to promote social programs means that you can't be wealthy is just a stupid trope. It's dumb. I don't even think conservatives, for the most part, embrace that idea. What? You know, right now, in response to Hasan buying this massive home, there are a few questions that arise that I want to talk about. I'm not super interested in talking about Hasan as an individual because he's just another political commentator. But I am interested in talking about the response to him buying this home because you're getting, for one, Breitbart wrote an article and it seems to be criticizing him for being a rich socialist, which, you know, we'll talk about what that means. And I do think there's some potential contradictory issues there. But then you have leftists that are piling on and saying he should be spending this money on mutual aid and activism and programs to help the working class. Instead, he's enriched himself. But I think you need to understand that when it comes to capitalism or free enterprise, when it comes to socialism.
Bro, it seems like this motherfucker is getting in the nitty gritty, which is something that you don't usually see.
The political spectrum, the economic spectrum is actually fairly gradient. There are certainly people who believe that
friend of the show, Tim Pool, what the fuck?
80% of all of, you know, wealth should be controlled by the state or something like that. And you still have the right to make and earn money. I do think there are many people that are making excuses for Hasan. However, and I think it's really simple. I don't believe that Hasan is ideologically 100% like authoritarian socialist. I think he's just very far left. I'm not saying that to be disparaging. I think he still obviously believes in personal wealth and success and
I hate that Tim Pool has a better perspective on this than like some of the fucking weirdos on fucking left Twitter and literally nearly every single right winger. Like now I'm thinking, wow, maybe I am in the wrong here. You know what I mean?
Hard work, and that's a good thing. But there is a big conundrum that I run into when it comes to the left and their principles that we need to address. So obviously, we'll learn about his house and what the left is saying. We'll ask some of these questions. But why is it? We have one story about.
I mean, he did a 30-minute video. There's no shot he doesn't use this for pot shots. You know what I mean? I suspect pot shots will be coming.
Staff at a socialist magazine were all fired because they tried forming a worker co-op, effectively labor organizing. The guy who runs it was like, later, you're fired for trying to basically unionize. That's weird to me.
I don't know the exact details of the Nathan Robinson thing, first of all. And I will mention that Nathan Robinson actually unfollowed me after I said that, like, there will always be a necessity for some form of, whether it's democratically organized or not, force of individuals that protect and maintain the presence of law and order. You can call it police. You don't have to call it police. Doesn't matter. And he got very upset at me. And I think he like literally unfollowed me after that. So since then, I'm like, you know, not his biggest fan, right? I've had him on the show before. Do you regret making your house purchase process public on stream? What? Dude, are people stupid? I didn't do that. Like, I literally did not do that, dude. It fucking leaked. Shut up. So, but from what I understand, like, the previous way that Current Affairs was working like the previous way the current affairs was working, to the best of my knowledge, was that they literally were all getting the same payment, including Nathan Robinson. Like, there wasn't, like, they already had, like, a very weird form of, I mean, they had a labor union, and they also have
Please watch ContraPoint's video on Envy. It perfectly fits this situation perfectly.
Giving updates on your house hunt? It doesn't matter because I literally told everyone that I was no longer looking for a house officially. And I made a video about it. And I actually, at the time, had stopped.
Hassan, how could you selfishly
at the time, I had stopped looking for houses. My parents never stopped.
Literally end capitalism. This is my dono to you to end capitalism. Please don't use it for luxury ice cream sandwiches. Please, I am trusting.
No, he's not talking about TYT with the union. I wasn't even there when that happened. But it was organized pretty well. But Nathan reacted badly to losing editorial control and tried to fire people. So that's what people are saying. People are saying that like it was already unionized, and they were already. It was already unionized, and they were already getting paid like the exact same amount of money and shit. Like it's pretty crazy, the organizational structure that he had.
The drama is bullshit. Please, God, move on.
Wait, what are people saying? But from what I understand, there's conflicting reports of what's going on. Sorry, I've been offline. Just finished signing papers on my first house. Anyway, what did I miss?
How dare you spend the money that your subs give you for being entertaining and making them laugh, Kek?
What is this? Sean TBD. Hasan is wealthy because he creates content. Bezos is exponentially more wealthy because he makes his employees piss in bottles. I cannot believe people are mad about this. Yeah. They still are paid the same and doesn't have a power to fire anyone. Board of directors has that power. It's stupid. Yeah, I don't really understand how... I do not understand how that, like, turned into this thing where, like, he already had, what about his editor just asking? Yeah, dude, my editors are fucking dead in a basement that I've locked them away in, where they are currently being held at gunpoint. More grifters are using this for content than people that are actually mad? For sure. At this point, just do what you want. People are just going to find something to complain about. Yeah, exactly. Which is why I am doing what I want. I don't give a fuck. So as far as the Nathan J. Robinson thing goes, I truly don't know what the fuck happened there. But it actually did seem a lot more ethical than the way that people make it seem like it was. But I do have friends that worked there. So I don't know what the exact details are. So I don't want to like get anything wrong. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I literally have friends that I know many people that have written for for Current Affairs magazine. And ultimately, one of the worst parts about this, as far as like, yeah, Nathan J. Robinson, he's a weird guy. He has like still a British accent, despite the fact that he's like lived in fucking America for many years. You know, dresses weirdly. Like he has like all the aesthetic things that make someone unlikable in a similar way that I do. You know what I mean? Like I'm too broy. Like that sort of stuff absolutely triggers something in a person's brain. And he dresses really weirdly, but ultimately it doesn't feel like what they were doing at Current Affairs was legitimately exploitative at all. And not only that, but how do I describe it? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, it's kind of sad that Current Affairs will go away and like shutter its doors. You know what I mean? because they did a lot of good work. Like, Current Affairs did a lot of good work, man. They had a great fucking, they had a decent article on the Jordan Peterson stuff. They had a good article, great article on Pete Buttigieg. Like, they were putting out good fucking work and good, heavily circulated articles. So it's kind of sad. He union busted? No, they already had a union, but I think that he wanted like some sort of organizational hierarchy because he felt like the way that his like he wasn't happy that they weren't generating enough subscription revenue and stuff like that, and he wanted to change it, and you know, it just like didn't work out. So it's truly sad to see stuff like this. But of course, he's not very likable. So that definitely plays a role for, I think, for a lot of people. I'm just being as honest as possible about this. Housewarming present. My face when the boss leaves for another job at lunch on Friday. Had time to make this for a fellow left grifter to put above his door. Hassan's mansion. Oh no. Oh, I love that. It's great. So, yeah, I'm a little conflicted on Current Affairs. Okay? The two articles you cited were both by Nathan. The CA staff are freeloaders who wrote nothing. They abused his generosity. I don't agree with that either. This guy said you should have bought $100,000. Where is this neighborhood with $100,000 homes? Says DSA Maoist Caucus. So what would you do with $3 million? Personally, I'd probably buy a house too. And then I used the other $2.9 million. I thought about 100 cooperatives. This person is literally 12, dude. I'm sorry. Like, you have to be 12 years old to think that, one, you can buy a $100,000 house anywhere in the country right now. Okay? And then, two, that you can start 100 workers cooperatives with 2. It's a joke. It's a joke. There's no shot. Either they're like actually 12 or they're just joking. You know? Lance's take on both your house and the CA housing situation. I appreciate the big scandals on the left right now that are a magazine that didn't form a worker co-op and a streamer has a house in LA. Meanwhile, the right is covering up the latest child sex trafficking scandal du jour. We can look at multiple things, Lance. Also, the magazine is actually worthy of criticism. Wait, what is this person saying? Okay, his lover era begins now. This dude said that the average worker makes 30K in their lifetime. I'm looking for a house now. First of all, how the fuck do you start 100 co-ops? Like, how does that work? Are you going to work at 100 different fucking cooperatively owned companies? I mean, it's a joke anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yes, I saw that I'm on Fox News. Okay, here, let's keep playing Tim Pool and whatever the fuck. And then you have the story
about Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, who also was called out for union busting. And I'm like, this I do not get. Perhaps I'm too nice and trusting. Perhaps these people are all grifters. And they're...
Yeah, that's Tim Pool. He's too trusting of the left. Which, by the way, I heavily criticized Cenk's union busting, for the record. I just want to... I very publicly and very heavily fucking ripped into him at the time. So, for anyone who says that, you know, I was like fucking defending him or anything like that, it's literally not true. Like, Yahtzee, fucking still follows me and recognizes that I was absolutely on board with their efforts there. Laura Ingraham just said on her show, this guy thinks America deserved 9/11. Well, now he has a new house for anyone that thinks maybe he deserves that too. That's not what Laura Ingraham said. No shot. Laura Ingraham is not live yet. Easy content, lol. Jeez, this is so low hanging for a streamer or YouTube. Oh my God, work for a living, huh? Yeah.
They're just saying what they think is popular to make money. And what's funny is they come out and call me the grifter. I'm pretty sure if I was a grifter, I wouldn't say, congratulations, Hasan Piker. You do great work and work hard and you deserve it. I genuinely believe that. The dude works really hard and he does deserve it. I think there's some interesting moral and ethical questions and philosophical questions around the economics of socialism that need to be addressed by what's happening here.
I got to pee.
But I got no problem just telling you how I feel. Is it true that Hasan perhaps is just saying things that he thinks people want to hear? Maybe. Or maybe he doesn't think that people shouldn't be allowed to have wealth and access based on merit, because even in a fully socialist system, the only way, ultimately it's going to devolve into authoritarianism, which is the ultimate issue. So there has to still be some element of free enterprise for a system to function. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. We've got the Young Turks, union busting. We got a socialist magazine, union busting. That I do not understand. I am not a far leftist, but I have no issue with unionization. I personally talk about how I don't want to be in a union and I didn't like being forced to, but I got no issue with people wanting to form a union. In fact, by all means, more power to you. I have criticized a lot of these people at these companies because, Fusion, for instance, where I worked, these people wanted to unionize without realizing that they were a net negative on the company. They didn't make money. They had no bargaining power. And my criticism for that was that the workers were going to be hurting themselves by doing it. Ultimately, it resulted in like 300 layoffs because the company said, you don't make any money for the company. You have no bargaining position. You could go on strike indefinitely and we don't care. That's my criticism. If people are at a successful company and they want to form a union, like, do it to it. But let's talk about socialism, personal wealth, and what's happening right now. We got this story from Sportskita. I don't know what it is, but they did write about it and included some sources. They say, Hasan Piker recently boasted about his $3 million home in West Hollywood, raised in Turkey.
What did I miss? Did he use this as an opportunity to fucking completely misrepresent and misunderstand? Boasted? Boasted? What do you mean fucking boasted, dude? I boasted about this house? Yeah, I love boasting about something that I desperately tried to fucking hide. I know the article said it. I'm mad at the article. I'm not mad at Tim. I mean, I'm a little mad at Tim Pool for reading this article without correcting it. But
the content creator began commenting on politics on the Young Turks before leaving in early 2020 to become a Twitch streamer. Hasanabi, now a progressive political commentator on the live streaming platform, is speculated to receive over $300,000 to $400,000 a year. Wrong. I will just tell you this is wrong. I'm not here to like drag Hasan in any way. No, I have tremendous respect for his hard work.
I don't believe that he has tremendous respect for my hard work. But yes, no, I don't make 300 to 400K a year.
And he's allowed to have his political opinions. I got no issue. Actually, I agree with him on a lot of his political opinions. He makes, I would estimate, probably 300 to 400,000 per month, not per year. Per month.
Okay, it's overshooting it a little bit, but okay.
Month. And that's just based off of his YouTube numbers.
That's also wrong. Both of those are wrong.
If he runs ads on his YouTube, I checked his YouTube channel. I didn't see ads. But based on what people have said about his Twitch stream, having, 1.5 million subs, streaming for 10 hours a day, pretty sure the dude's making a cool 3-4 million a year. He probably pays 50 to 60% in taxes. We'll talk about that too. They say the 30-year-old's home allegedly contains 5 bedrooms and 5.5 bathrooms in West Hollywood. The 3,800 square foot house is described as having a Mediterranean style of architecture and was built in 2014. Since the announcement of Hasanabi's home, many Twitter users have commented on the extravagance of the purchase. However, YouTuber Ethan Klein shared his appreciation and support of Piker's home, saying, y'all really think Hasan shouldn't be able to...
Half the motherfuckers that are like tweeting about how insane this purchase is live in the basement of their parents' larger home. It's just in fucking Minnesota, okay? That's the difference. Like, half the people are like, I can't believe he bought this fucking house. It's so extravagant. It's a fucking mansion. Like, literally, meanwhile, you're in your mother's basement in a fucking gigantic, like, mega mansion in the middle of Minnesota. So it's, you know, cheaper.
To own a nice house and also champion for the poor and underprivileged. There is a difference between making millions on Twitch and paying 50% in taxes and Jeff Bezos being worth $150 billion and paying no taxes.
By the way, the funniest part about this is like, okay, this in many ways is like getting mad at me for having a fucking Herman Miller chair, which is very expensive, as you guys already know, or getting mad at me for having a fucking uplift desk, which is also very expensive. Because this isn't just like a fucking house. It's also my base of operations where I will be streaming from. Okay? Opportunities to be able to have more guests on, for example. Building a fucking studio, for example. So there are plenty of like it's literally a fucking investment as well from a capitalist point of view as well. It's just I'm investing in myself. So what I consider on top of that is just that, like, they would normally, people would never get mad at that. Like, they would literally never get mad at that in nearly any other circumstance. Please do. The context makes this so worth it. He literally grinded for years, but I guess a Turkish man isn't allowed to buy a house. Erdogan's new presidential pal. I don't know who the fuck this dude is, but it's pretty funny. I'm retweeting it. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of these. I'm sick and tired of it, dude. They really don't want to see Turkish men thrive out here, bro. Me and Erdogan. Army home based? What? Dude, this is... I'm joking. I don't like Erdogan. They say nobody should tell them how to spend their money while telling you how to spend yours. No, that's one of the worst fucking... That's one of the worst parts about it is that, like, I hate it when fucking leftists or people who, like, are aesthetically leftist turn around and literally apply the fake cartoonish depictions of leftists willingly. Like, Republicans constantly fucking say, oh my God, leftists want you. They want to take away all of your assets. They want to take away all of your money. They want to take away your fucking toothbrush. They want to tell you how to spend your money, and that shouldn't happen. Okay. And then leftists are like, no, we are saying that. We are saying that. We want your fucking toothbrush. We want your house. Why are you doing that? My family were landlords in Vietnam, and even during land reform, they didn't take their personal house. Yeah. Not sure this needs to be said, but I wish Hasan the Hun the best. He's a smart, creative person who now has the tools to spread his truth even further. There's the potential here to do a profound amount of good if he stays good. Capitalism and the internet will make that hard. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be all right. I've been getting shit on by left and right for a very long time. It hasn't caused me to change my principles, my values. Unlike flying business class one time, which immediately I was like, wow, okay, never mind. Yeah, what the fuck was I doing? That was a principled stance I was taking when it comes to air travel. And then one time I didn't, and holy shit, I'm out, boys. You know, fuck this leftist shit, dude. I saw a lefty say problematic men are more attractive than leftist men in response to all this. What a hill to die on. All right, let's keep going.
Happy Hasan is crushing it. Jeff Bezos pays taxes. Amazon is who didn't pay corporate tax, but Amazon also pays taxes. But I clarifying that, I agree with Ethan Klein. I think there's literally nothing wrong with Hasan advocating for even socialist policy and then making a few $1,000,000 a year, because this is one of the problems we get with establishment Democrat types and leftists that they need to speak up about. There is a very big difference between people who make $250,000 to like $1,000,000, people who make $1,000,000.
Wait, I do say that, but like that's not at the heart of the problem. The heart of the problem is like how you do it, how you fucking accumulate that wealth.
And people who make $120 million per year or who are worth billions of dollars. And it seems like the only time I hear this from leftists is when they are being criticized for being wealthy. This is the problem I've been trying to bring up for some time. When Bernie Sanders comes out and says tax the rich, he's talking about taxing people who make more than $500K. That's a lot of money, but that is not $3 to $4 million K. Someone who makes $500,000 a year, they've got all their needs covered, everything's covered. They're probably giving up about 50% in taxes. Yes, 50%. I can explain how that works in a second. And so they're taking home in cash about $250, a lot of money. So they got their house, they got their health care, they got their kids, their family, their vacation, everything's covered. And then every year they got about 180, 150K for investments. That's a lot of money. You can do a lot with that. That's a very big difference between Hasan making, say, $4 million, where he's got a cool $3.8 million or $3.9 million to invest and gain more and more wealth and power. That's, I think, what typically the socialist criticism is, but it seems to fall on deaf ears once it comes to leftists themselves. In this instance, I am saying I got no issue with Hasan or any of these people being wealthy. Ethan Klein obviously is super wealthy as well. I just think that if we're going to be talking about taxing the rich and these kinds of issues, we're really focused on the massive, massive wealth. However, it's still hard to figure out how you draw these lines, considering if you do like a wealth tax, all that does is eliminates the wealthy. Is that really the solution to all of the problems? Well, the left wants that to happen, but I don't know that's actually a solution to the problem, because if you implement a wealth tax, you'll just end up with individuals finding different ways to gain control over assets. The ultimate issue is...
What is this? This is how you're treating your editors? Thanks for the new office, Hasan. Looking forward to working more closely with you in there. Okay, dude. I don't want to fucking... No, motherfuckers harass the shit out of... Motherfuckers harass the shit out of my editors, okay? Just do not fucking
smart
contact
and talented
them.
People can
Please.
figure out how to gain control of a system. It may be through finance.
Like literally non-stop. Non-fucking stop. Bro, come on, come on. Come on, bro. Tell us he's bad, right? He's a bad person. Come on, tell us.
It may be through crypto. It may be through control of systems or religion or ideology. Ultimately, you take away Bezos's wealth through a tax, he finds other ways to store it. It's like what we saw with Mark Zuckerberg putting his money into an LLC, or we see with all these billionaires putting money into nonprofits. But let's read. Netizens react.
I'm losing my fucking mind. He's right. Like, why? Why is Tim Pool unironically correct on like everything he's saying here, dude? This sucks so bad. This is the weirdest fucking timeline, like. I don't get it. I don't fucking understand it. I mean, there's still a bunch of like dumb shit. There's still like a bunch of fucking dumb shit that he has said, like purposeful or maybe not on purpose, misunderstanding. And regardless, he is crazy. Like the amount of like things that Tim Pool does on a regular basis is completely ridiculous. This is probably part of the This is probably part of his, like, I'm actually a liberal take. You know what I mean? Because he does do this every now and then. Maybe it's because he wants to angle it, like his rhetoric, in a way where some of you guys will go over there and watch and, you know, watch him and fucking, you know, become fans of him or something. But it's ridiculous. One
user said, don't really see an issue with Hasan buying a house. Becoming rich off streaming probably ranks low on the scale of exploitation. I absolutely disagree.
Wait, what? Okay. Oh, thank God. Thank fucking God, dude. Okay. I was waiting for something that I disagree with him on. I was like, this is fucking crazy.
How are you going to come out all day, every day, talk about grifters? People who are scaring grandma to make money. Well, that's what they accuse me of doing, even though my audience is like 30 years old on average, younger than I am. And they're saying I'm just scaring grandma. I mean, maybe when I make an appearance on Fox News, it scares grandma. But my audience is not above 55. It is almost entirely like, I think the average age is probably 30 years old, younger than me. And there's a large portion of 18 to 24, 24 to 35 is probably the biggest demographic. So, exploitation. If you are just going online and saying what people want to hear so that they give you money, you are exploiting them.
Why do people always say, oh, dude, all you're doing, I mean, I guess it's like fucking awesome that people are constantly saying like, oh, dude, you're a grifter because you're just telling people what they want to hear. Okay, so you're admitting that people want to hear about socialism then, I guess, which is great. I mean, awesome. I didn't realize that, like, I did not fucking realize that, you know, this was a thing that people were, like, craving for. But, hey, mission successful. That's awesome, dude. What's that fucking Proudhon quote? Which people are going to make fun of me for not saying the name correctly. Like, I dream of a future when I am hanged as a fucking reactionary, right? I don't know how to say it. Okay, shut up. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah, I dream of a world in which I would be executed as a reactionary. Where they would see him as a conservative. You know what I mean? Where, like, people have gone beyond a tomorrow that I had even had the capacity to dream. It's wonderful. It's wonderful that it's gotten to a fucking point where, okay, first of all, I don't dream about being executed by you fucking weirdos. Okay, so I just the sub gifters to know that I'm sorry for exploiting you. What? Yeah. But basically what this implies is that, you know, we've gotten to a point where the normative position is like beyond what I ever imagined, what I ever envisioned. For example, we've gotten to a point where, like, socialism or being a democratic socialist, being a leftist is beyond the, it's no longer regarded as like a horrible thing. It's no longer regarded as like something that immediately gets you fucking clapped. We're not that far off from the government unironically destroying one of the fundamental ideas of freedom of speech when it came to the Red Scare, when it came to McCarthyism. Like, we're not that far removed from that. So that means that the Overton window has been shifting. Why has it been shifting? Bernie Sanders is a significant player. Significant reason. So that's great.
I don't play that game. As much as they like to accuse me of it, by all means, you can look at the videos where I've gotten major thumbs down because people are like, I don't like what Tim said about this, or he's wrong or bad. I'm going to tell you what I think. You know, I said Joe Biden's speech was actually pretty good. I think he passed the buck, but he said some good things. I can say that it's the right move to try and withdraw from Afghanistan, even if you do it wrong, and it's horrifying. Now my bigger concern is that Joe Biden's just going to be tricking us and sending more troops back in, which he's doing. Anyway, I digress. Hasan has certainly made similar statements where he's said, you know, look, what Trump did, his plan, it was the right plan. He said this in a recent video. I watched it. He was talking about how Trump's withdrawal from Afghanistan, it was his plan. It was the right plan. But he thinks Trump is responsible for the peace deal that happened with the Taliban, and thus, I guess he's saying deserves more blame. I think he's being honest.
No, I'm saying it's fucking it's unavoidable. That is the intelligence community and their assessment. If there's anyone to be fucking blamed for this, it's, well, one, Trump, who like literally fucking took out Taliban prisoners and negotiated the plan. If you're going to get mad at it, which I'm not, that's one thing. But also on top of that, it's the intelligence community that like decided to basically give Afghanistan to the Taliban.
I think that's how he genuinely feels. I think he's wrong, because I think that Biden took it, changed the terms of the deal.
I don't care. Like, I don't. That's the difference. Like, I am not anchored by a partisan position. Like, I have no partisan motivation that anchors me. I fucking shit on Joe Biden, and I shit on Donald Trump too.
I don't think Donald Trump was
they deserve to be shitted on.
Charge when this was going down. He made a peace deal. The peace deal wasn't followed through with. Biden did not respond. Biden snuck troops out in the middle of the night. Now that debate.
You don't understand, bro. I can only do my job in the comfort of a beachfront mansion, the wealthiest city in the world. Yeah, I live in front of the beach. I do. I went and I got a beachfront compound. Okay. Why are people? This is the thing that I personally will never understand. People are just like, dude, you can only, like, I'm gonna fucking tell you. I'm gonna tell you exactly what you can and can't purchase. Okay. This is what leftism is. I'm going to tell you exactly what you can and can't purchase, and that's the only way we can do socialism, okay? Real socialism is when I find the house for you, okay? And then you go live there. Like, why are you fucking... You are so much more parasocial than all of my... Suddenly praising LA? I love LA. I've literally talked about how I was going to buy a fucking house here because I love living here. And I like LA. I've always liked LA. It's very fucked up. There's a lot of income inequality. There's a lot of fucking wealth inequality. There's a lot of disparity in available housing. But
over, you know, withdrawal from Afghanistan is fine. We disagree. I don't think he's wrong to have his opinion. But I want to point out, there are a lot of grifters. There are a lot of people exploiting people. And let me explain something to you. You want to understand what exploitation would be? A plumber fixing the sewage lines so that a society can function, and then people like me and Hasan who make money just opining on the internet. What do we really give to people? Now, I get it. Culture and ideology.
Wait, what? No. Dude. That's not exploitation in the Marxist sense. In the Marxist sense, exploitation occurs when you are depriving your labor their surplus labor value, okay? And not giving them the means of production, okay? But then also, that's a fundamental Marxist orthodoxy principle, okay? Just at the heart of Marxian economics, right? But beyond that, what Tim Pool is trying to describe isn't even exploitation in like a capitalist understanding. It's like, no. The exploitation occurs when the plumber is being worked to the fucking bone and not getting their surplus labor value back, okay? That's where the exploitation occurs. Not when you're, I don't know, fucking doing a entertaining show.
But is it really worth more than the hard physical labor of somebody who's like building a house or doing construction? No. And maybe that's why I'm more lefty, right? I've had some libertarian types and ANCAPs tell me, no. So I made a music video, Will of the People. And I show it to these individuals, some, right-wing types, ANCAP types. And they're like, wow, congratulations, you did a great job. And I was like, oh, well, a ton of people worked on it. Nishra was the one who did the production. And they're like, no. Don't pass off credit. This is your project. You oversaw it. You made it happen. It's your talent. And I'm like, I get it. Objectivist, libertarian, ANCAP type. It's you who oversaw the whole thing. And I get it. I do. But I really do think the people who did the work are deserving of the credit for doing the work. Of course, it was my idea. I formulated the story. I wrote the song. I wrote everything about it. And then I said, hey, guys, I have an idea. And I needed the people who knew how to do the work. I actually value the hard labor more than I do just the idea. I think I'm
fine with you having a good house if it means you can keep giving me hot takes to repeat to my friends like they're my own. That's it, dude. Thank you. That's the honest situation there. As far as your relationship with the content that I provide, like, this is the most honest fucking take I've seen in the chat today.
They're of equal merit to a certain degree. We only grow great. I mean, for instance, look.
You stealing chat's jokes is more exploitative than buying your $100 million mansion. Yes, totally.
I'm only able to do what I do with timcast.com because you guys become members and are basically all holding up this giant platform, allowing me to try and build something. So I get it. We do add things in terms of political commentary. I'm just saying...
When a comrade buys a bigger house than mine, malignant gaze. Watch new Contra video on Envy? Maybe.
The workers of the world, I know I'm using that phrase on purpose, are substantially more valuable than either of us in our political opinions. But anyway, let's jump over to Hasan's Twitter here, so I can point out a few things, and then we'll talk about this conversation around owning a house and socialism, and why I actually will disagree with Hasan on some things. Again, I'm not trying to make this about Hasan. I'm trying to make it about the ideas of socialism, work, and labor and stuff like that. It just so happens to have fallen on him because he's got criticism over his house. So someone said, imagine supporting socialism, a system in which only the rich benefit and stay within power while the majority of the population is held to a specific standard in payout, just to buy a $3 million mansion in West Hollywood. Hasan says you are literally describing capitalism. What you described is capitalism. Even the massively inflated price of the house is also a consequence of capitalism. This one,
he's like not getting to the nitty gritty. Wait, I want him to comment on that. Why is he not getting into the nitty gritty on it?
Alexis says, let me pull up the full conversation, try and get some context here. Alexis Isabel on Twitter says, I don't know, man. It's just flat out unethical to be profiting off of socialism and buying yourself a $3 million home in a state that has one of the highest homelessness rates in the country. If you're mad, I find this to be gross and unprincipled behavior. I don't really care. Hasanabi, Hasan says, you literally have a Patreon link in your profile, LMAO. What does that have to do with what she said? Alexis.
Wait, what do you mean? How do you not understand? If it's unethical to be profiting off of socialism, as this person implies I am doing, then they are straight up the most unethical, considering that they have a Patreon dedicated to like sending people Marxist IG memes. That's actually capitalizing off of like socialism or whatever the fuck. Which I don't even have a problem with that.
Isabel actually, I think, makes a really good point. I have no problem with Hasan being successful.
Yeah. Oh my God. Of course.
I bought a massive, $1 million house in the middle of nowhere. It's in Maryland. It's basically like the West Virginia area. It's like Harper's Ferry. It's like a tri-state. And I have no problem with success. Now, I didn't buy the house so that I can live luxury with a butler. We're using it for our production facility.
This person is paywalling Marxist reading. And by the way, I don't even have a fucking problem with that. Like, if you want to do that, go off, okay? That's on you. But a person who is paywalling Marxist literature and like sends Instagram memes to people for $5 a month, coming at me when I stream 10 hours a fucking day and do a broad scope of coverage from news, sometimes even fucking gaming, to, you know, reaction content, memeing. Like, there is not a single part of what I do that is just entertainment with an educational focus that seeks to fucking do agitative propaganda. Okay? That's it. That's what I do. To say that this is like me profiting off of socialism is psychotic when there's people in here who think I'm a Republican. When there's people in here who think I'm a neoliberal. When there's people in here who think I am a fucking dengist. Okay? And on top of that, there is absolutely nothing that is paywalled. The only thing you can't get, okay, and in very minor circumstances, the only thing you can't get is the emotes and also the top of the hour ad break. That's right. Because at the top of the hour, every hour, there's a 60-second ad break. Now, this is a contractual obligation that I must fulfill. Woo! That was a good one. That was a good segue. Okay? A contractual obligation. But you can avoid the ads. Even then, you can avoid the ads. Okay? How can you avoid the ads? By subscribing. You can subscribe for $5. You can subscribe for free if you steal your wife's boyfriend's Amazon Prime and connect it to your own Twitch. Because then you'll get one free Twitch Prime a month. You can also use an ad blocker. One of those that works still on Twitch. I don't know if there are any. Or a VPN. Okay? That's right. Twitch Prime is free, however, if you want an ad-free broadcasting experience. Here is the ad now. Let's keep going.
To a great extent. You know, we film a lot here. We film the Cast Castle here. I got this not because I need it. I got it because I want to do more. I want to bring people on. I want to expand and create stuff and have fun. I'm not interested in buying a Ferrari. I'm interested in hiring some people who are going to make good stuff and inspire people. My actual house is like 1,000 square feet. It's actually really small. This is just where we...
You exploit me because you resume the reacts while I'm watching an ad, lol? Get a fucking VPN, dude. Well, they can't probably hear me now. But, like, Bummy has been in this community for years, okay? This motherfucker knows. He sees probably 6 to 10 fucking ad breaks a day, depending on how many hours of content that I'm providing. If at this point, you still are like, oh, fuck, man, I just saw another ad. It's like, dude, you're literally in here 10 hours. Fucking figure it out. Figure it out, dude. Oh, Jesus Christ. It is absolutely your fault if you still are like, oh, fuck, man. I'm still seeing ads here, dude. This sucks.
We do work. So I got no problem with buying this, but Alexis brings up a really good point. I don't come out and come on.
It's also shocking that Bummy has not gotten a gifted sub, like even on accident. Even today, there's like been 1,000 gifted subs today. Just today alone. And this dude has the absolute worst fucking luck. Has never gotten a fucking, he's never gotten a gifted sub.
YouTube and tell you that we need to, you know, seize the means of production because the poor working class. I say we need to build a better culture. We need to teach people to work hard and find that merit. And we do have problems with, you know, crony capitalism. But I'm not sitting here saying that everybody should be giving up everything. You know, I guess my politics aren't as far left as Hasan's. If he really was, in my opinion,
Nate Bailey, thank
about
you for the
what
10.
he was talking about, a $3 million house is substantial, man. Like, no, for real. You don't need to buy a $3 million house. He's in West Hollywood. See, I moved to the middle of nowhere because I wanted a big place that was as cheap as...
So, okay, so the 16-minute buildup was so that he could still do the same kind of, like, condescending thing and agree with, like, some of these completely psychotic... Oh, shit. Holy shit, boys. In the midst of all this controversy, you know who just followed me? course, another fake community organizer, the great Reverend Dr. William J. Barber II. That's awesome. You might know him from Poor People's Campaign. Maybe we can have him on the stream some point. That is absolutely dope. I love him. One day, we will have Reverend Right On as well. That is the dream.
As I could get. So we chose to, for one, get out of cities. Obviously, you know my political opinion on cities. We wanted to go even further away, but then we need to be close to an airport. So ultimately, I said, I don't want to waste money on a big building, but we need a workspace that can accommodate. We have like 25 employees now. We are growing like crazy. We have more shows coming out. So we moved to the middle of nowhere so that we can get a big house. And yes, it's substantially larger than Hasan's house, but he chose West Hollywood. And so I do personally disagree with that, though ultimately I think...
Why? But like, why? Someone needs to explain to me why. If you have no problem with me like living wherever the fuck I want, why does it seem like you have a problem with it? Like, what's up? Like, what? Socialism is when you don't get to live where you want? I don't get it. You chose to live. You chose where to live, and that's cringe. Yeah. What kind of weird take is that, dude?
There is a tinge of of envy here. Alexis responded when he said you have a Patreon link in your profile. She said, I mean, that's entirely different than buying a $3 million home in a rich neighborhood, but I guess you got me for making $100 a month. Hasan says, oh, so the way we generate income is identical. It's just the amount that bothers you. Got it. This is a real great look for the, what is this, PSL Web, for the Party for Socialism and Liberatio, by the way. Didn't realize Marxism was about the relation to the means of production, but about arbitrary cultural signifiers assigned by reactionaries. This is where Hasan starts to lose me, right?
Wait, why? Is it because you have no concept or no comprehension of, like, Marxism? Is that why? It could be. That could be the reason. He means it's because it's a lot of words. If you have a basic understanding of Marxism, you will recognize that what that person who is like an active fucking party member in one of the biggest fucking socialist parties is unironically spouting revisionist nonsense with the hopes of getting, like, you know, some fucking clicks. That's it.
He's losing me because he could have just said, listen, guys,
maybe his argument is that the 3 million could be better served in other communities, help the local economies more. They're just jealous AOC never called them sus on stream. That's the thing. Like, people keep saying, oh, she's so principled, lol, go figure. Y'all quoted me on this, but no, I'm a huge communist. I love Fidel. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, people are trying to make their buck. You know, I don't even hate on them for doing that, okay? PSL and big in the same sentence? Okay, well, it's like, you know, a legitimate organization, okay? In comparison to, like, I don't know.
I am a proponent for all of the rights of the working class and the labor and all that stuff, and for more socialist policy, but I do believe people have a right to earn and be wealthy. That's just it. Instead, it's this weird deflection that actually, I believe, begins to discredit him. The means of production? Let's talk about the means of production. This house is the means of production.
What? Okay. True. Wait, is this going to turn back around? Go ahead.
My ability to live in this house is the means of production because I produce in my home. I film this video. The more space we have, the more I can produce. My camera, my microphone, my computer are the means of production. Socialists believe that the means of production should be owned by the public. They also claim to say there's private property and...
No, dude. No, the workers, okay? There are many different kinds of socialisms. The ultimate concept, though, revolves around a more democratic process a more democratic ownership over the means of production. It doesn't fucking mean the government gets to decide who lives where. Why? Why? He was like so fucking close, and then he's just like, duh. That's why he doesn't understand the concept that I'm talking about here. God damn it!
There's a difference between private property and personal property. I can never get a straight answer for this because there isn't one. Where is the line between private property and personal property? Where is it?
What do you mean he can't get a... What do you mean he can't get a fucking... Wait, what? It is an incredibly... Google is free, okay? You know, you give away like all your personal information and stuff, but it is a very well-defined, easily definable concept, okay? If you own a house and you live in that house, that's your personal property. If you own a house with the explicit purpose of renting that out, that is your capital accumulating. Okay? So that is private property. That's it.
Is Hasan's computer, his camera, the means of production?
Yes.
The answer is yes. There are a lot of...
My house also happens to be that because I literally not only live in it, but also fucking stream out of it. So yes.
Poor people who don't have that computer or that streaming setup. And if they did, they could produce too. Why should Hasan be the only one who's allowed to have access to these specialized tools? His house. His house is effectively the factory. He's got a very large house that is more than enough for a single person. In fact, a single individual would be fine in a 1-bedroom apartment. Now, I don't know if he's married or anything like that, but even then, a 3-bedroom apartment. Let's be real. You've got mom, dad, kid, 3 bedrooms. Maybe you want to move out to the suburbs where it's cheaper, so you get a 5-bedroom house, 5 bathrooms. Hasan's house in West Hollywood is the means of production. In a socialist system, the question I have that arises with this kind of stuff is, if we truly did say that the means of production are controlled by the public, how would you determine who...
So let me establish something here. He created a faulty premise, openly admitted that he doesn't understand like fundamental Marxist concepts, and now is just working off the faulty premise that he had previously established that has nothing to do with anything. Why? Isn't he a journalist? Like, I don't understand. Why didn't he just fucking strawman Piker? Wait, what? It makes zero fucking sense what he's saying currently. It literally does not make any sense. And not only that, but he could just Google it and comprehend it, okay?
Who gets to live in the big house and who gets to live in the small house? Why should Hasan, who doesn't make food, doesn't build homes, get to live in the big house and not the small house? I think it's simple. He is in an authoritarian system. He would be the party member, proselytizing to the masses. That's what he produces. Now, for me, but similar.
No, a house could be considered the means of production. Like, yes, shelter is fundamental for survival, but also in my particular circumstance, it is where I make the videos. Okay, it is where I stream. So Tim isn't actually wrong when he says his house is technically the means of production. Where he's wrong is when he turns around and says, everyone should own his house. Who gets to own the house? It literally just, he took 20 minutes to just basically say, socialism is when I take your toothbrush. Socialism is when no toothbrush. Okay? But also, he's making it up. There is no like, this is a completely made up concept. And he doesn't even hide it because he just stated that he does not understand the concept. The difference between personal and private property.